Did you know that you can take the personal Facebook profile that you've probably had for 15, 16 years at this point, depends how old you are, and turn it into an absolute cash printing machine? I tell you this from personal experience because my personal Facebook profile, not a business page, my personal profile has made me millions at this point. It has unlocked so many business connections. It has allowed me to travel the world. It has allowed me to speak on stages. It's allowed me to win awards like the one behind you and a bunch more that are sitting around in my home office here on the Gold Coast, all impacted significantly by having a nicely tuned personal Facebook profile. Now, you could literally build an entire business off the back of this alone. I've helped a lot of people do that. You can also have this as one part of a broader ecosystem. Okay, what I want to cover with you in today's video, something I've been wanting to sit down and create for a while, the most comprehensive guide that you'll find on YouTube about how to print cash, plain and simple, put money in the fucking bank with your personal Facebook profile. Okay, we are going to cover everything. We are going to cover setup. We are going to cover growth. We are going to cover content. We are going to cover monetization. Okay, they all come together to be able to get you paid ASAP. And this could be getting paid from $10 to 50 grand. I've done everything in those bookends and in between. Okay, and my clients, the same. All right, so get comfortable, sit back, get a cup of tea, get a cup of coffee, get a glass of wine, whatever it is that you're into, and let's tear through this, because I think if you go and take this, you go and use it, it's going to serve you very, very well, like it has for myself and like it has for a lot of my clients. And if you're one of those people who thinks or sprouts that Facebook's dead, I would ask you to suspend your skepticism for however long this video ends up going for, and then give it a go. Because I can tell you from a money-making perspective, Facebook is very well and truly alive. It is a unique platform for a couple of reasons that I'm going to talk about in a moment, that is so powerful in terms of creating connection with people in a pretty effortless way, and then moving that relationship over to a customer or a client and actually generating money for you and your business, be it an existing business or a new one, depending on where you're at. It's unmatched in a lot of ways. Instagram is different. YouTube is different. TikTok is different. LinkedIn is different again. Facebook is entirely its own beast. And if you understand it and use it correctly, like I do, like a lot of other people do who make money online, it can print you some serious cash. Okay, so with all that said, all that out of the way, let's dive into it. All right, couple of quick fundamentals. Like I said, my personal Facebook profile has made me multi-seven figures over the years, selling everything from super cheap stuff, my own stuff, affiliate stuff, all the way up to $50,000 high-end coaching packages. And it's really powerful because you can quickly connect directly with your audience, and you can actually drive the growth of it, which I really like, and we're going to talk about. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. It's really fast and simple to create content. If you want to put out 3-4 posts in a day, go for it. It's really easy. You can use it as like a stream of consciousness type platform, but you can also take a more planned and curated approach. You can sell directly, publicly through that content, but you can then also easily bridge people over to Messenger to sell in private. And I'm going to show you examples and cover all the stuff about how to do both of those. Okay, so first things first, let's get this profile set up and let's get it set up right. I've included a nice little picture of mine as it currently stands. It may look different depending on when you see this, but I would recommend that you set it to professional mode, simply because you can see the analytics, right? There's two modes. There's like a normal mode, and then there's a professional mode. Honestly, I don't know the major differences. I have mine in professional mode just so I can see the analytics and the data and stuff, and glean what I can from that kind of information. All right, so that's from like a setup perspective. The other thing that I didn't note on here that I should have, plus make content public. Make sure that go into all the settings and make sure that everything that you post is 100% public. The way you can check it is if you go click on like the to post thing, like where you go to post, see what it says at the top. If it says public, you're good. If it says anything other than that, like friends or a certain list or relatives or whatever, it's only going to a certain number of people, and that's going to crush your reach. Okay, so make sure it is set to public. There are a couple of fundamentals that drive everything. All right, once that's done, now we get into the nitty gritty a little bit more. First things first, cover photo. So this sits at the top of your profile when people land. You have 3 different options. I would encourage you to pick the one that aligns most with you, the one that you like the most, the one that fits right for you, however you want to articulate it, okay? So this is the first one, is a branding image, right? I had a nice little fancy brand photo shoot down on the beach here, and with Alex, she's amazing, and got a nice little photo of me walking along, having a chat on the phone, beautiful ocean in the background, which is aligned to my brand. So I just use that, right? Here's a couple of examples of other options that you've got. One is a CTA image, all right? So I had this one for quite a while, which is sending people to message me if they want a freebie, which is correlated to what I do. So there's an example for you there. And then this is kind of like a hybrid. It's a bit of a lifestyle image, and you've got a call to action up the top, which tells people what I do, and then it gives them a link off to my website. So that's a bit of a hybrid of both. Okay, look, don't spend too long thinking about this. I can promise you it's not going to make or break you. All right, I would just pick one that aligns to you best. If you want to brand up a bit more in terms of like getting leads and that kind of stuff, go for something like this. If you want a nice little blend in the middle, go for something like this. If you don't like this kind of, the text and the feels like you're selling a little bit more, which it does, it's the reality of it, then just go with like a nice photo shoot. Or it doesn't even have to be a professional photo shoot. It could just be like a photo, right? But just something that aligns to you and what you do. Get that on there, get it set up, bang, done. Okay. Second thing, bio. Okay. So if we look at our little example here, this is the text that sits in here. Okay. This is the text that sits in here. You can play around with this. I'm always kind of mixing mine up and seeing what resonates. But you want it to cover a couple of kind of basic fundamentals. Who do you help? What do you help them with? And is there kind of some unique element to what you do? That's optional, but you can definitely layer that in. And then the other thing you can layer in here is a link. I don't have one in mind currently, but you can layer in a link as well. Okay. So for example, I help my clients sell millions in courses, coaching, consulting with their personal brand. That's what mine says currently. A new little angle I'm testing out as we sit here today. This is one that's been previously. I help coaches make 30 to 50K per month without sales calls. All right. So you can see who, coaches, what, make 30 to 50K per month, and then unique without sales calls, right? And then again, you could put a link in there. You can also, if you've got like your own unique methodology or way that you do things, whether it's yours or just like a more, well-known thing, right? It could be like, I help online fitness coaches make 10K a month with my method, or with, Instagram shout outs or whatever, right? Like just give people a bit of a feel for what you're all about. Again, does it help to have a good one? Does it help to have a strong one? Sure. Right? Sure it does. Can it pique a bit of interest if someone lands there and like, oh, that's interesting, or oh, that's exactly me? Sure it can. Is it going to move the needle massively? No. What will is your content. So get the fundamentals in place, get it set up, and let's rock and roll. I'm moving through this pretty quickly for a reason, because I don't want you to get hung up on it. Okay? Profile picture. All right? Make it clear. Be able to see your face, something unique if possible, and please, no cartoons, no AI shit, no graphics, no text, no frames. Just keep it really simple, right? Me, I'm at a winery in Tasmania. People know I like my wine, so a photo of me with a nice glass of wine kind of aligns to the brand a little bit, but just make it clear, make them be able to see your face, and make it stand out, and don't have any of that other crap in there, okay? And then one other piece that I'll add is, as we mentioned up here, you can put a link in your bio. You can also put a link in under your bio. There's a link section. So put that over to your website, put that over to your YouTube, wherever else you want to send people to your funnel. Drop in a link to any other resources that you have. If you don't have anything, just leave it. This could go to a Facebook group if you've got one. You can link off to wherever you want other people, wherever you want people to go, or you can just leave it blank. It's fine. Okay. So that's the fundamentals. Let's get it set up, and then we can move on. All right. Rolling into section 2. Now that we have our profile set up, we're going to grow it. We're going to get people. Okay. The easiest way, if you've already got people in other places and you just haven't been using this is to link people over from your other platforms. So if you've been active on Instagram, if you've been active on LinkedIn, if you've been active on YouTube, if you've got an email list, if you're on TikTok, whatever, and you want to start growing this, you want to start using this as a platform, as a starting point, you can say, hey, I'm going to be uploading unique shit over on my Facebook profile. Here's a link. Come and check it out, right? So you can either post on that platform. That'd be like an active way to do it. You might, over, say, the space of a week, run like a push where every day you nudge people over through content. And then in your bio on those other platforms, or in your signature, if it's email or whatever, you can have like a static link to Facebook. Okay. You could also put this in your signature of your email so that it's always there. You can put it in the description of your YouTube video so that people come and find you and they start moving around your ecosystem. The whole point is, if you have an audience anywhere else and you're starting to do this, or you've done it before and you're wanting to ramp it back up, leverage that audience, bring them over, layer in some unique content to get it rolling. So there's actually a reason for them to come over. And then you can kind of leave that with a couple of static links and you'll be good to go. Like, for example, I have my profile linked under YouTube videos, just as an example. Okay. Now, once we've done that, and if you don't have that, don't worry about it. New audiences. Okay. This is where some people face resistance with Facebook, because they don't like the idea of this, but it depends if you like money. Okay. You can add 40 to 60 people a day, as long as you slowly build up to that from groups. Paid groups are better than free groups. Paid groups are like groups that are created off the back of people buying stuff, right? Now, the resistance most people have to this is they think that you're adding people and then immediately pitching them. That is not what I'm going to tell you to do. So sit tight. There's a better way. Okay. So paid groups are better than free, simply because those people have proven that they're prepared to pull out their credit card. Think a little bit laterally. Think, who's my target audience? What groups might they be in? What software do they use? What other things are they interested in? Where might I be able to find pockets that other people haven't kind of aggressively tapped? Then I would recommend that you split this number up into either 20 or 15 like people tranches throughout the day. So you'd be doing, say, if it was 15, you'd be doing 4 throughout the day. So at 4 different times throughout the day. So you could do it at 7 a.m., you could do it at 10 a.m., you could do it at 1 p.m., and you could do it at 4 p.m. 15 people, boom, 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 boom. You do that every day, your audience will start ticking over. Okay, now you probably want to invest a little bit of time to go and quickly take a look at their profile. It doesn't take long, take like 10 seconds per person. Is this person in market? Is this person not in market? Or am I not sure? And based on the information that I have with this quick glance, do I want to add them or not? I would recommend that you lean more towards having a slightly looser tolerance, just to get a bit of volume and interaction flowing, but entirely up to you how tightly you want to build this audience. But start getting that ticking over every day, your audience will start growing. What will ultimately happen as you start to build up that baseline from here and from here is that Facebook is going to start to realize the type of person that is in your audience. And then you can start to look at suggested friends. But again, it'll suggest friends, go and look at them, see do they have any mutual friends, what's their bio, what's their profile picture, what type of content are they posting, make sure they're relevant. But that's another source that you can tap into once Facebook has a little bit of data about the types of people that are in network for you. Okay. A little extra tip here. You can outsource this to a VA. Just take the relevant security measures. Some people might want to use a VPN. Some people might want to put it on a phone and give it to their VA. Some people, might just let them log in with like a LastPass type structure or whatever it is that you use. You take the relevant security measures that fit for you, but you can have a VA log in and do it for you. There are some risks associated with it, which I'm not going to dive into in this video. So just understand that you are rolling the dice a little bit. And if you prefer not to, you can do it. You can do it yourself. If you do want to do this, I've also included a little SOP that will allow you to get this ticking over. Okay, now this says Facebook growth SOP. And this includes if you want to grow on... or if you want to grow a group as well. Okay, so if you're not growing a group, if you don't have a Facebook group, if you don't know what a Facebook group is, if you're not interested in a group, just ignore that part of it. It's still relevant, okay? Literally all you have to do is like this part here, and it will get this ticking over for you. I'm going to link this document that I'm walking through below as well, so you can get all of this. You'll get the SOP and then everything that I'm going to cover thereafter. So you can just give this to someone and they can do it for you if you want to outsource it. Okay, that's really growth. The only other thing I would say about growth these days on Facebook, which has been since the rise of kind of short form video, is Reels, right? If you want to create Reels content, that can get you follower growth as well. All right, this could be, you could repurpose it. You can use AI tools like Opus. So if you make YouTube videos, for example, you can rip them through something like Opus. You can go and post them on Facebook. It's going to get your profile out to new people. Then they can come and follow. Boom. Now they're in audience. Or you can make designated content. You can look at what's trending and model it. You can create your own style. Point is, you can use short form content to grow followers on your profile as well. I had a client who recently did like a little series in her market, in her niche. She did a series that was a bit contrarian, and she really quickly got like 40,000 followers on what was a brand new Facebook profile. So if you come up with something unique, if you come up with something different, and you can push some effective reels that might, nudge a couple of people's buttons, you can grow pretty quickly, and it's pretty powerful stuff. Okay, so that's the other thing in terms of growth. I'm by no means an expert in this stuff, which is why I didn't put it in there initially. And you also kind of don't control it; it's based on the algorithm. But if you're a video person, if you're into short form, you can go and do that. But this is cool because you control it. You can ratchet it up. You can ratchet it back. Okay, so they're your options for growth. Really simple, and you can start today, and then you could weave in the reels in time if you want to. Okay, moving on. We've got the profile set up. We've got it growing. What do we need now? Right? We need content. We need something to put in front of these people. Right? These people are like, who is this person? Who is this person that's adding me? Who is this person that says that they do this thing in their bio? All right? That's what our content does. And this is where the magic happens. This, if you do everything else before and then you nail your content, this is what will allow you to print cash and do it somewhat effortlessly, because as I've said here, we build relationships through consumption, and consumption really correlates to the time that we spend together with our audience. This is why YouTube's such an effective platform, just as a side. And so the more effectively you do this, the easier selling becomes. Okay. Now you might be asking, what type of content do I create? And I'm going to dive into that. I've got a bunch of examples for you, but I want you to understand this point at first. Okay. The whole goal of content, right, as I said here, it's drive consumption and time together. But what it's really doing is pre-selling people. Okay. So we've got three things in a business. You've got an offer, you've got a sales process, and you've got marketing. Another word for marketing, or another name for marketing, is pre-selling. It's the selling that happens before the sales process. Okay. That's what we want to do in our content. And in particular, we want to pre-sell people on two things. We want to pre-sell them on who we are as a person, right? What we're all about, what we believe, our views, our philosophies, our life, our interests, all this kind of stuff. Give them a window into our life, and what we do, how we help people, how it's different, the results that we get, the transformations that we provide people, all this kind of stuff. Okay. If you can successfully pre-sell people on those two things, right? On those two things, the next natural thing is your product, your service, or your offering. Because if they buy into who you are and they buy into what you do and they want that thing, the next natural question becomes, well, how do we work together? How can I pay you? I want that and I like you, so let's do it. Okay, so that's what we do in the pre-selling piece. Then in the sales process, which I'm going to touch on, we sell the thing, right? Straight up, simple. At a high level, here's some of the stuff you can share. Your experience, your overall story, your little stories, the results that you've achieved for yourself, awards, other results that you've achieved for clients, day-to-day life, your lifestyle, if you live a cool life, your opinions, your philosophies, your goals, to be a leader. Hey, this is what I'm working towards. I'm building. Here's an update, blah, blah, blah. Lessons, insights, wisdom, little light bulbs, right? Failures, the journey. You could do stuff, what maybe like how to, like this video, right? Which you could call like raw value. All that kind of stuff fits into content, and all of it in some way, shape or form chips away at these two things: who you are and what you do. Okay, the more heavy lifting our content does, the easier sales becomes. And content is more leveraged than sales. Sales, you can increase leverage through team. If you're selling high, I'm kind of assuming you're selling higher ticket stuff here. You can increase leverage through team, but that's more people, more problems. Content, you get leverage through distribution. You get leverage through the platforms and through the algorithm, right? And so if we can get more of this to do our heavy lifting, the better for us. Okay, so let's dive into some examples. There's really, in terms of your profile, there's two different types of content that you're going to be creating. Okay, and I've already touched on Reels up here. They fall under feed content. I don't do a ton of them on my profile, so I'm not going to go into that. I do mostly written, and that's what we're going to talk about here. So take my notes from Reels before and run with it, but this is going to be more about written content on the feed. But really, there's two places where you create content. One is the feed, one is your stories. Okay, so if we look at feed, let's look at a couple of these buckets. We've got strategy, value, insight. We've got behind the scenes, planning, building in public. We've got results. We've got life, humor, and personality. Okay. Now, look, there's a few more buckets. You can kind of consolidate these up into a couple of buckets. You can spread it out into a lot of different buckets, but this will get you rolling very, very nicely. Okay. So let's talk through a couple of these. And these are just recent examples. Okay. How to quickly add 20K to 40K MRR in Q1 for your coaching business. So these are the types of people that I help. This is something that they want, and this is time sensitive, right? This was written on the 5th of January. If you run a group coaching offer like most of the industry, but you get sick of starting each month from zero over and over, this will change your life. You can turn your group program into a monthly recurring revenue offer, no problem, but this will work even faster. Boom. Then I go on to give some very tactical, very real, very practical advice based on stuff that I have personally done, and addresses a very real pain point for the people in my audience, which I know because I talk to them and I've worked with so many of them, and talks about how they can get a really desirable outcome that they want. Okay, so this is a really simple style post. And then you can see down here, there's a call to action. If you want my help, I'm closing the Inner Circle community shortly, where I can help you do this. Okay, so open close type structure on the offer for this post, right? So that's an example of like a raw value type post. Another one here we can take a quick look at. The anti-calendar to have it all in life. This morning I had a 30-minute catch up with an Inner Circle Platinum client. They're the people I work with one-to-one. They shared their December numbers with me. Over 50K revenue and just over about 40K cash collected, and they have one core offer. They now have a wait list of new clients. They're in the zone where they're just building their ecosystem daily, and it feeds the system. I'm super proud of them, right? Then I go on to talk about this kind of anti-calendar concept, and then really down here I talk about kind of my philosophy, what I help my clients build, etc., etc., etc. So, and you can go read this again. The Notion document that I'm walking through here is linked below. Another example of like value, insights, strategy, that type of stuff that's really working through pre-selling on what you do, or in this case, what I do, right? We'll keep ripping through these examples. Behind the scenes. Core elements of my unfancy lifestyle business in 2024. Write daily and publish to blank. Deploy 3 different strategies. So you can see here, I'm just literally sharing behind the scenes what I'm up to. Stories, low ticket campaigns, open and close Inner Circle, build a wait list, limit calls. Outside of this. So this is just literally me saying, here's my plan. Right? Now you might be wondering, why is that powerful? We're all looking for leaders to follow. We're looking for people to follow who've achieved the stuff that we want to achieve. We want to follow them, and then when the moment strikes, we want to pay them for proximity and for access. That's what's happening here. And a leader is a person that's prepared to put their vision out there and then go and execute on it. And if they muck up or if they deviate, they're prepared to say, hey, I changed, here's why, etc., etc. So that's what this is all about. Behind the scenes, building in public, planning, etc. I mean, a little bit of this leans on like people's love of reality TV show. It's like we're seeing stuff happen in real time, and people like being behind the scenes, seeing behind the scenes. Okay, another little example for you on this one here. The 1 hour workday. Liana asked me the other day a pointed question, one I hadn't put much thought into myself of late. How much time do you have to work per week? Again, I let them into some behind the scenes about my business, what I do, how I do it. And a lot of this is around how my approach is unique. And what I'll try and blend through this content is some of my philosophy, some of my views, why I do things the way I do them, because that then starts to pre-sell on that other bucket as well. Okay? So those two are a little bit deeper, a little bit longer form. These next few are pretty simple. Results just wrapped up. First inner circle call for 2024. Folks melting my faces with their results. Community growth expert pulled in 500K last year and is hitting 2024 with 28K MRR locked in. Blah, 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 blah. Tons of results. Hey, we do real shit. We do cool shit. Our clients get results. Right, another client result. Over 15K USD to kick off the year. No long hour strategy calls, convincing, arm twisting, admission, blah, 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 blah. About Mikkel. Shout out Mikkel if you see this. Awesome result. So that's really simple, straight up. What's the result? Tell the story about it and tie it back into your approach, your methodology, your views, etc., etc. Life. Pretty simple. First swimming lesson done. That's me. That's my little man. We took him for his first swimming lesson. He's got his mouth open, drinking way too much pool water. Just lets people in. Right? This is why I run my business. This is why I run my business the way that I do, is so I can spend a ton of time with him. I can hang out with Liana. And we do things for a reason. So let people into that. Okay? Humor and personality. All right? Show people that you're not a complete robot. My parents love French food. I told mum the other day that there's a French restaurant in the city doing a fully dark 3-course dinner where you're blindfolded from the time you walk in. It's designed to enhance the senses of taste by cutting off one of the other senses. She said, sounds awful. Naturally, I got her and dad tickets. Okay, you may find that funny, you may not. It's just a bit of personality. It's not another post about like, do you know how to Zapier your ads into your CRM? Right? It shows people you're a real person and people buy it from people. Okay, all business is P2P, person to person. Liana makes me buy these fancy ass eggs because she doesn't like the ones from the farms where the chickens live on top of each other. Understandable. They're like $12 a dozen. My mind was kind of blown when I found that out. And I just did the math, and these chickens each have as much space as a small 1-bedroom apartment, 40 square meters, 430 square feet. That is literally more space than I had living in New York, right? So there's silly, stupid, funny little stories, anecdotes, shit that pops up throughout the day that says, hey, I'm a real person. And there's not a lot of strategy behind this. It's just like, I found it funny, so I posted it, right? But it just shows that you're not a robot. You're not a corporation. You're not one of these business brands that's like, you know, it's just toxic and sterile and boring and bland and manufactured. It's like, hey, I'm a real fucking person. I can't explain it anyway other than that. Okay, that's feed content, strategy, behind the scenes, results and proof. There's other stuff we can go into, but that will get you rolling, right? That is more than enough content. You can there's what is there? 5 types there. Boom, 5 days a week. Do one of those on each days. Sweet, rock and roll. Okay, now that's the feed covered. Right, and then you can blend some reels into that as well if you want to. The other element is stories. Okay, they're the little things across the top. Right? Here's some buckets. Results, lifestyle, bit of value. You can link off to other platforms and you can rip promos. A lot of money is made in the stories. Okay, what I've created for you here, or what I've put into one very long page that you can scroll through, is a bunch of examples of Instagram stories. And I'll sit with you here for a moment and we'll scroll through these and I'll add a bit more context. But then again, you're going to get access to this and you can look through it in your own time. Okay? Write posts that slay, make videos that pay, get off the phone, get a shower with a view, Q4, let's fucking go. Right? Bit of personality, you know, bit of motivation, bit of insight into my world. That's a view from my bathroom in my office. Just having a bit of fun, right? You don't have to overthink it. Getting the Sunday sweat in to keep up with @Sean Anthony, one of my buddies online. Writing bangers to buy steaks and wine, right? Bit of personality, I'm at the gym, etc. We'll be opening a few more inner circle spots in October after we close it down for new members in the back end of September. If you want to work one-to-one with me, join a badass mastermind, DM me. Promo, direct offer, screenshot from inside the program. Ditch sales calls, build high ticket recurring revenue, write posts, create simple videos, say no to shit you don't want to do, build your coaching business the right way. Philosophies, views, why I do things, my unique method, it's all blended in there. Okay? This is a direct promotion for my monthly newsletter called the Freedom Files with a link over to it and a photo of the new issue. Payment coming in of nearly $6,000. Just as Liana rang me, it's almost like she knows when the money is coming in. DM for October Inner Circle before I head to New York and close it again. See, this does not need to be complicated stuff. Monday, photo of the path just down on the beach in front of my apartment. The more time out of the office, the more money I make right now. Freedom creates freedom. Bit of lifestyle, just family. It's a little dude having a snooze on me. YouTube video. Just made like a little note on notes in here, screenshot, post. YouTube, link off to YouTube. A little bit of extra content. The message on a previous story turned into a $9,600 piff with 10 messages and a 2-minute voice clip while I was at the gym. This is how we do it. Go watch this video if you haven't and reach out with the words Inner Circle when you're ready. Me playing guitar, little man. Right, you guys getting the, like, it's really simple. A little bit of lifestyle, results, a little bit of insight, a little bit of, personality, lunch, protein equal profit, whatever the fuck that means. Pinnacle of human development, truth. New videos, like, you can scroll through these and get a ton of inspo, but there's heaps of examples. Meeting up with a client, that's a client I met up with in Italy, that's Mikel, extended into his 2nd year. Why I told my clients to build a fuck you fund, ASAP, link over to Instagram. Right? That's a screenshot, 18K day. That was before little man was born. Client results, etc., etc., etc. You can go through all these and you can get examples. But fundamentally, I'm doing some promos. I'm letting people into my life. I'm sharing a bit of my personality. I'm sharing results. And I'm linking off to other stuff, using it as a bit of a traffic source. Stories are great. You can pump them throughout the day. And then they disappear. So have some fun with it. And don't overthink it, and use this as your inspo. Okay, let's jump back to our main document. Keep rolling. Where were we? All right, last part, monetization. I appreciate you if you are still hanging with me. This has been a longer video than normal. All right, overview. If you do everything above, you set it up correctly, you get it growing, and you consistently grow it, and you rock that content, and you don't write shit content, and you actually put your personality and your heart and your soul into it, monetization is going to start happening naturally. People will reach out, right? And then you can just offer them stuff, whatever it is that you sell. It's kind of outside the scope of today's training. So that will happen naturally, right? Now, if you are selling or want to sell low to mid-ticket stuff, right? And like, let's call this like $1 to like, I don't know, 2K, whatever. You can link directly from your post. So literally make a post, put a link in the comments. You can link in your stories like you were seeing me do before. Or you can make a post, have a call to action to DM, like you saw the example. And then you can link them over to whatever's relevant in the DMs. And here's just a little example of like a low-ish ticket one in my world. $333. Simple sales page, just training about how I've turned a small YouTube channel into a bunch of cash, right? And this one has done well, little order form bump. And so if folks reach out, I can link them to it. I can link to that directly off my stories. I can link to that directly off a post. It's really simple, nice, basically passive income. Really, really powerful. I got a bunch of other examples, but that's one for you. If we're selling higher ticket stuff, 2K to 50K, this is how I do it. There's a variation. Post, get them in the DMs, send them a doc. Okay. If you want to see an example of a document, I've got a YouTube video that breaks down a document that made me 45 grand in 11 days. You can click that link. I'm not going to click it now because it's going to load it and start playing and shit. You can click that link. You can go watch that video. You'll see an example of it. All right. So that's like the basics of monetization. You're either going to sell low ticket, mid ticket, or high ticket stuff. You're either going to sell it publicly by linking off to a funnel, or in the DMs, sending them an offer document. The alternative here would be that you get them to book a call, close them on the phone, then that gets into sales, right? Now, where people run into challenges in this piece is they go, well, JC, I'm not getting enough inbound leads. Haven't quite cracked the content thing. Inbound leads ebb and flow. Some weeks you'll be like, holy shit, where have all these people come from? Some weeks you'll be like, holy shit, where have all the people gone? Right? It's just the reality of it. So in those times, or if you just want to juice up your numbers across the board, if you're not getting enough inbound, what do? We go outbound. Okay, but I'm not talking about cold. We're doing warm DMs. Okay, so remember when I said back here, people freak out about this? We're not adding them and then sliding into their DMs and being like, hey, do you want my shit? Blah, 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 blah. We're just adding them to build our network, build our audience, and then we let the content do its thing. Okay? So, warm DMs. Concept called hotspots. On any platform. Could be a group, could be a Facebook profile, Instagram, emails, whatever. Hotspots to me are where people are taking an action that tells us that they are somewhat interested in what we do and who we are. Okay? So, in your Facebook profile, you've got the people who are watching your stories. If they're watching them consistently, and if you upload a string of stories and they're watching all of them right to the end, they're probably interested. If they're liking every post that you put out, if they're commenting on every post that you put out, right? If they follow you, if they watch lives, if you do, we didn't talk about live content, but if you do lives and they watch and they comment and they hang out, right? These people are all probably very, very interested. Send an outbound message to them, connect, and then you can take it from there, right? Or you can go and drop a valuable freebie like this one here. Just updated my one-page follow-up millions cheat sheet we use to land 3K to 50K deals in the DMs. Want to copy, hashtag me. 267 comments, right? That's a lot of people you can go and message. So if the fundamentals above aren't generating you the volume that you want of inbound leads, which sometimes they may not, you can either sit on your hands or you can go outbound or you can engineer lead flow, okay, with these, right? And you can offer freebies in different ways. You can write a longer form post and put a freebie in there. Just keep in mind that the shorter, more kind of dopamine heavy, you're going to get more volume. The longer, the more people have to kind of sift through, the less volume you're likely to get, okay? A couple of extra points down here. We're getting to the end. Understand that when you're going outbound, you're shifting the frame, right? If someone is consuming your stuff and they come to you and say, hey, how can we work together? That's one dynamic, right? If you go to them, the dynamic's shifted, right? That's pretty basic. You can understand that, okay? So what I see is people go outbound and then they get pissed when the person ghosts them, or maybe they get annoyed that they're sliding into their DMs, right? It's like, no, it's fine. Just chill out. Like you went to them on their time, you went to their turf. Like, just relax. It's going to be okay. Okay, so here's what I would recommend. Don't try and sell them straight away, but also don't waste time on pointless chit-chat. The way I view this is if we're going outbound, it's to connect, and it's to move the relationship to a slightly more intimate one-to-one dynamic. They're also now more likely to see your content if you've spoken in the DMs, right? If from there a natural conversation flows and an opportunity for them to buy something, become a client, whatever opens up, roll with it. If it doesn't, leave it. It's a seed that's been planted. Okay. If you're not sure, I'd have a crack at it and see what happens. Right. You can even ask them. You'd be like, look, I'm not sure what you're thinking, but based on, what we've just spoken about, I reckon I could probably help you. But I don't want to, force your hand or anything. So just be frank, right? People way over engineer the DMs. They think that they're like Jordan Belfort and that they need to be this fucking hardcore closer bullshit. Have a real conversation with people, right? And if now's not the time, don't push it. Go back to letting your content do its thing, okay? One other little advanced tip is if you're doing this additional lead gen and you want to nurture these people even more, you can use your DMs to drive attention to your content and provide value directly, okay? So you can link to new posts, you can link to videos, you can link to new resources. If you drop a new freebie, it's all serving to progress the relationship further and further and further and further, okay? If you do all this stuff, you're going to create a ton of opportunities to present your offer, be it through a funnel, through a doc, or to get people on the call. And that's the game in a nutshell, okay? So from setup to growth to content to nurture to monetization, that is how you can turn your personal Facebook profile into something that absolutely prints cash for you. Okay, don't buy into the fact that Facebook's dead. Don't overcomplicate it. Do this consistently, and it can be a very, very nice either core channel for your business or additional channel for your business. Okay? Whew. That was a lot. I appreciate you hanging out with me, especially if you're still with me after all that. My goal with that was to, you're probably drinking from a fire hose a little bit, but go rewatch it, dissect it, and then please go use it. This has made me so much money. This has made my clients so much freaking money. If you go and use it and you're consistent with it, it's going to serve you really well. Okay, with that all said, I'm going to wrap this one up. I'm a bit cooked. That was a lot. And I'll talk to you all in the next one. Cheers.